Greetings everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of All Things Lambda, the Half-Life community show that's eagerly awaiting your status report so we can send it to the administrator for you. We're doing you a service, but we do expect brownies back in return though. We also got some news for you from inside and outside of the community, so get strapped in and let's get this party started.
LambdaGeneration.
First off, let's talk about Steam Next Fest and the announcement that Gabe Newell did for it on PC Gamer's PC Gaming Show during E3. Let me just kick down the door straight away by saying that absolutely nothing super interesting was announced here, and we have all hyped ourselves up for essentially nothing. No Steam Pal announcement, no new games or other projects from them, just Steam Next Fest. The whole announcement only took like 1.5 minutes too. Not to say that Steam Next Fest isn't something to be excited about though. Lots of new games are being shown during Steam Next Fest, of which you can download and play demos. You can also watch developers play their games. If that sounds like something that you're interested in, then you can still visit Steam Next Fest online until June 22nd. After that, it's over. Actually, you know what? Something really interesting did happen during the livestream. You may want to lean against something for this one. Gabe Newell sweared. Well, I'm going to community guidelines hell for just mentioning the existence of swear words. I think I got a new honorable mention for Lochnessmobster's list of Half-Life YouTubers who have sworn. A link to the full Gabe Newell video can be found down below, as well as a link to the Steam Next Fest main page. Alright everyone, I hope you're all still leaning against something because Breadman released a new update video about Entropy 02 over on his YouTube channel. The June 13th, 2021 update has quite a bit of stuff to show, so let's get into it. First off, Breadman mentions that during the current private beta testing, his team is meanwhile hard at work fixing the several issues and bugs that come up from this endeavor. They are doing that as well as tweaking some narrative moments in the game to make the whole experience a little bit more coherent. Once that's done, the mod can officially be considered beta. Breadman then continues to talk about Wilson, the defective turret, and how it will be incorporated within the story of the game, essentially giving it a mini storyline of its own once you decide to take it with you. Which is entirely your choice as the player. You can also choose to leave him behind in the Aperture facility. The APC is also being focused on in this update video, it actually having received its own final map to give the vehicle one last hurrah before having to abandon it to go further on foot. It's one action-packed sequence with some badass music. Lastly, some gameplay is shown with a cameo of someone really familiar at the very end there. I recommend watching this update video entirely through to catch everything about this update. I may have left out some things for brevity's sake. A link to Breadman's update for Entropy 02 can be found in the description below. When Entropy 02 will release is still a mystery, but hey, the longer we wait, the better the game's gonna be. About that Beriosia. Tuesday marked the 20th anniversary of Half-Life Blue Shift. We think. There's conflicting information. We're pretty sure though. Though somewhat overshadowed by its older brother opposing force, Blue Shift has still won the hearts of many in the community, especially as it introduced us to the most interesting Barney in all of Half-Life, Barney Calhoun, who we would see again in Half-Life 2 Episode 1 and hopefully again sometime in the future. Second best Barney of course being Barnes from Azure Sheep, and the third best is Benry from HLVR AI. You ever think that one part in Blue Shift where Barney has to fight off headcrabs around every freaking corner is the reason why he's so scared of them in Half-Life 2? Just a thought. You might call that a headcanon. Anyways, if you haven't played Blue Shift, well, I think we all have. We're in the Half-Life community. If you haven't played all the Half-Life games by now, what are you doing? Okay, except for DK. Not everyone has a PS2, and how the hell do you forward your ports to make the PC port multiplayer work? What does that even mean? Please help me. But yeah, since you have already played Blue Shift, you should, play it again. Today. To celebrate. Please do it. You know what? We're gonna help you celebrate it a bit more. Black Mesa Blue Shift, the Half-Life Blue Shift remake in Black Mesa that the Black Mesa Sheep folks are working on, received a brand new media update all about the second chapter of their project called Insecurity, which is obviously based off of the original Blue Shift chapter of the same name. In this update, we get to take a look at a whole bunch of new screenshots from maps and other elements the player will come across in this chapter, like the HUD and even the view model of the pistol that our favorite Barney will obtain. The shooting range seems to also be there and ready to be used. There's even a donut. Apart from that, we also got a small video with an audio clip of a conversation that's going to be had in the remake between a security guard repairing a door and a scientist complaining about how long it takes. Spoiler alert, the scientist has to take a detour in the end. Because, you know, I don't think the security guard knows how to repair automatic doors, cause, well, it's not really his job now, is it? Last but not least, the team states here that they're planning on releasing this new chapter next month, at least if everything goes smoothly. And maybe I'll take a look at it again once it does. Let me know if that's something you're into. A link to this media update can be found in the description below. CoreyLaddo is at it again with their Source Filmmaker goodness, and this time they remade the original Half-Life 2 tech demo where they're showing off the evolution of Gman. Originally they showed off the Gold Source Gman transitioning to the Source Engine Gman, which was already quite the jump. But now that the Gold Source Gman jumps to the Source 2 Gman, we can see an even bigger jump in graphics quality. The whole thing is very impressively remade, even down to the little jitters and imperfections in this early animation work that Valve did. To answer the man at the end that asked if it would run on his 486, no, it most certainly would not. Please upgrade. A link to CoreyLaddo's video can be found in the description below. Do you think we were done with Barney-related news? Oh, of course not! Tripmine Studios has released an update article and several videos showing off their recent progress on their remakes of Blue Shift and Opposing Force. Specifically, they go in depth on what strides have been made in their lighting. The team has brought to light their advancements in physical-based lighting, deferred lighting, screen-based reflections, volumetric lighting, God rays, lens flares, chromatic aberration, improvements to sources built in HDR bloom, and volumetric fog. Woo! Now, in order to actually run all of this stuff, the team has done some work under the hood on the version of the Source engine they're working with. It runs faster, runs a 64-bit program, allowing it to use more than 4 GB of RAM, and its Hammer editor runs way smoother. Besides talking about software, a couple more things were shown off. Tripmine showed off 3 videos showing off the lighting effects in action, and also they finally released in-game images of the guard and the marine models. It doesn't say specifically that this is Barney and or Adrian, but the real ones should look fairly similar. It gives you the general idea of how they'll look, and I think they look great. If you want to see these new models and the video showing off the new lighting for yourself, a link to the article is in the description below. You know what doesn't have new lighting though? Our social media pages, because I don't think it quite works that way. Our Twitter and Facebook are down in the description below, together with a link to our Discord server. Oh, don't forget that there's still time to join the private beta of the LambdaGeneration community platform. All you have to do to join is enter our Discord server and just say that you want in. We'll take care of the rest. My Twitter and YouTube are both linked down below as well in case you want to go ahead and check that out as well. I post fun stuff sometimes. And with all that being said, I'm going to end episode 146 of All Things Lambda. Don't be sad though, because we'll be back next week with another episode. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe and to ring that bell icon so you'll never miss another episode of All Things Lambda. Salutations, and take care.